I remember that.
All right, hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is My Hero Academia manga chapter reads for I think Sunday. Well, actually, this is kind of a weird situation. We have a chapter that came out about a week ago. We had some weird planning things going on in the back. Essentially, we got delayed for a week, but that's okay
Sorry,
because
I was out of town, and then I did, and then I was like, I should have said something.
so we had that going on. But at the very least, the following chapter didn't come out for the next 2 weeks, so we're not doubling up this time around. We're just gonna catch up on what we missed so far, and we'll still be ready for uh 393
Three.
by next week. But right now we have 392 as our new chapter read. You probably heard him, but we got Mark in the back.
Hey.
And Mark, there's something that we always do before every new manga chapter. What would that be?
Recap episode.
Sound like your voice actually got distorted a little bit.
You gotta love it when it works out.
You gotta love it when Discord just tries to do his job and we just work we work an extra wrench in there.
The comedic cut up of
But we'll do a quick recap. This is 391 from last time. This is where we have it's pretty much like the continuation, but also kind of like the transition over to seeing the side of Toga's fight. Araka is holding her own here, but as you can see, the army of twice is a huge problem for even the standard heroes to deal with. Araka just trying to reach out to Toga as much as possible. She's taking a different approach. Well, I think her approach has always been kind of the same, but she now is confronting Toga with a little bit more empathy rather than just her having an incredible adrenaline rush. Because last time they had a confrontation, it was just she was on high fumes, just trying to save as many people as possible. So she wasn't really even thinking that rationally. And she also used the wrong choice of words towards Toga and caused Toga to kind of, I guess, disband this. Yeah. Well, I mean that's just what happened recently, but yeah, no. Essentially what's happening now is that she's trying to confront her using words instead of fighting. But yeah, Toga's not having that.
Jutsu.
Yeah. Yeah, Araki, you're not him. You're not him.
You ain't got that dog in you.
You're not that guy. You're not that guy.
Actually, who am I kidding? She do got that dog in her. She just doesn't have the talk no jutsu powers.
This is true. She did have a really compelling speech at the top of UA, so there was possibilities. It just wasn't going to work on Toga. Meanwhile, as we transition to 392,
So she's got talk no jutsu. It's just that it ain't gonna work this time.
it's not going to work. It I think with Toga, it's just one of those things where you just have to fight her. It's kind of like Naruto fighting Gaara for the first time. It's nothing was going to get through to him until you bash your head against his. So
Headbutt.
I think I think that's what they have to do. Without any additional spoilers or anything revealed to me, Uraka just needs to headbutt Toga, and that's the end of the story.
You use your head to convince them. Gotcha. Bah!
Put objective. Put Peter and Pan back into his place.
Roger grabs collar, inserts head.
All right.
Feel pain.
I will say, 392 was kind of trending for the hottest minute, during the week of the release. I didn't see anything. I just saw the hashtag for My Hero Academia 392 and Toga by itself. So I was
You've been doing what I've been doing with Final Fantasy 16, just avoiding anything you can.
yeah, it wasn't too bad this time around. So for better or for worse, Twitter is not showing me exactly that kind of stuff, except for whatever is trending. But
Talk about an opening page though.
Turns out we got Froppy. Oh my god, no, not Froppy, because now I got
Frog.
now I'm getting worried. But yeah, we start off with this page. It's obviously all the twice clones to have Froppy held up, and it's just Toga in the back with a knife, and she's like, "You don't know the first thing about me."
The knife down. Step away from the frog.
And you see Araka coming up towards her like Spider-Man.
She had him jets going, boy.
Yeah, I forgot she has like stuff like that. I know she has
Same.
like the wires, but that's something else. But Rock's like, oh no, Froppy.
After getting hurt.
Yeah, this is Froppy. Like after getting hurt, back on Okuto Island, I couldn't evade the mob. Who could?
The
Really? Bruh, who
shading.
could?
This shading.
Oh yeah. So the next page, this is like intense. I like the perspective on this one. It really is like you just like shove the camera up like the actor's face
Truly.
to
It's
get
like a half and half like kind of face.
yeah, just to get that like intense moment right there. But she continues because you're never wanted for anything because you've always followed their rules. Because you were born into a perfectly livable life.
I
She raises
mean,
up the knife. She's like, oh.
I mean, it's not. It's true because, like she said, her family has always been going through poverty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So she, so Toga, you can't say that.
this is yeah. That's the problem because like maybe Iraq doesn't know anything about like Toga, but it's also the same way reflected back.
Yeah, like I'm not saying that. Obviously, Toga had a harder life, clearly, but I
Right,
wouldn't
right.
say that Uraraka was that struggle.
Yeah. In this case, it's just about understanding each other. But we get interrupted with a little quick flashback where it showed all those years back, Toga was messing around with the bird. Um, Parents absolutely like disgusted, horrified. And it shows like thoughts that they had when they witnessed it. She killed that sparrow, sucked its blood. Now she's grinning about it. And I guess it's there like, no, no, the bird just fell into the yard.
Could you imagine if it actually did just fall into the yard and they just assumed that? That's so fucked up.
We have a, I mean, it's not like too grotesque, but it's just like the panel of the bird. I'm like, oh, that's
Poor bird.
sad. We have looks to be like some kind of like conference between like maybe her and like the family, but we have this shaded out like person's face.
They should just be like a therapist or something, maybe.
Could be. Yeah, let's get you all like reformed, nice and normal,
In bold
in
letters.
bold letters. I guess this is our rocker here. Just a moment, I'll be right there. Oh, actually, never mind. That's not her. I'll just read it with like unknown person's voice. Just a moment, I'll be right there.
Oh, it's
Yes.
just a therapist.
Maybe, yeah, yeah, no. She's just fine. Yeah, so we'll sort out the deviant behavior. It's common in children with powerful quirks. Yes, it happens all the time. In a modern society, we'll be sure to iron it all out. And then I guess I'll take this last page here. Um, it's wow. I actually really like the details here. This is a page of like Toga, a little bit older now, and she's kind of like witnessing what you could assume is like normal society. Right now, she's kind of focusing on like the love aspect of things. Sees a couple like holding hands, dog licking owner's face, a little bit too much. I was like, whoa, easy, relax.
Slobbery boy, slobbery boy.
Stop it. What on earth are you doing? These are like voices that's like running parallel to like these visions we're seeing. Himiko's face is all scary. You little freak. There's another one.
Little freak.
Just act normal. There's no. Oh wait, no. There's just no getting through that girl. And it's just like Toga just witnessing everyone just living a lovable life, but it's her just like from a distance as
Is her finger bleeding?
yeah, she was biting into it. Yeah, like throughout this is just like her perspective, like looking back, looking outward. She has like one finger in her mouth, and it turns out she was just like biting it a little bit. Whether that just be like a tendency that she does, or just like that's her frustration of not understanding that.
Right.
The next page is pretty twisted, but you go ahead.
Oh no, you feel really bad for her seeing this. It's also very terrifying. She said, it's like I think this is one of her parents. Himiko, they told they told me you drank your friend's blood. Her, nuh-uh. My friend got hurt, so I was just sucking the ouchie. And then there's her parents again. That's not normal. Don't you want to behave properly? Then we have her talking to her parents again. Mommy, Daddy, I just don't get it. Not at all. Does everyone else just fight the urge to be the way they want to be? Why does nobody else suck blood like me? As she's like crying, but she's also smiling.
Mm.
She's like really confused, but she's like, I just think she doesn't know how to respond to everything. And then you see her parents just like, ah, like
uh,
they're at their wits' end, like they don't know what to do.
yeah, yeah.
And then they see like she just came out wrong. She's rotten to the core. We gave birth to something inhuman as we just see her crying.
It's kind of messed up.
I know, it's like, I understand their frustration, but you can't be saying that.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot say that to your child. That's just fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see Toga, and oh, if you remember her,
Yeah, she was from the Liberation Front when they initially like had that fight. It's when Toga turned to Uraraka, right, for the first time and used the power.
yeah, I'm trying to remember what her name is. It's been so long. What was her name? She was in charge of the TV stuff.
Yeah. I think what's happening
Um,
here, it's like, yeah, we see a shot of like that woman next to like twice Toga.
so
Yeah,
you pushed it all down.
bit of imagery here.
And then we see she's got like another face, like a mask in front of her, a mask like I think like obviously in her head, a mask in front of the half of her face that was exposed from the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Suppressed yourself and created a mask to become someone else entirely. As she's talking in Toga's ear. Then we see snap, yank, go on. As like she gets pulled,
Whoa.
Uraraka pulled her off, and she got. It looks like she got maybe a single cut off on Suyu.
Yeah, it probably grazed just a little bit.
Non-lethal by the looks of it. And we see Uraraka's pulling her in like, yeah, Uraraka! As she's just going through for Uraraka with a knife. We see Suyu falling, and there's Jiro and Kamui Woods.
Let's go.
I got you, Suyu, says Jiro. Take this last one. Oh dear God, I forgot how scary that looks. I heard you gasp when you saw that shit.
Yeah, I saw a panel. I saw a panel. I was like,
Whoa.
that was like, oh, Toga's like thinking like 2 steps ahead, bro.
Then we see Ribbit. Kamui Woods is already holding Sue. Watch out, that's not her, he says. She said. Jiro's like, huh?
Yeah, whoa, Kamui Woods, like, he works fast.
And then you see Jiro looks, and you see this twisted looking Sue. It's so gross.
Yeah, that's why I saw. I was like, oh, God, that's not, that
It,
isn't.
it's terrifying looking. Then you see Kamui Woods like smash through the fake Sue like it's Toga. And then we see all of her copies. All heroes must die. As we see a Toga, we see some Twices, we see like 2 Sues, and we see a Jiro.
That's, this is really bad.
Some of her doubles must have swallowed sprayed drops of blood, like from the battlefield.
Yeah.
You want to do this one? You want me to finish this off this page real quick?
Yeah, yeah, you can go ahead and finish off this page.
Yeah, right. We see she's feeling where her ear is gone, saying she even got me. This is Kamui Woods. Take on this horde. No, even our full team up wasn't enough. Now that she's diverting and deceiving us, we've got no. And then we see Gob as we just see an entire. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was just another wave of Twices just burying them. Goodness gracious! And then we see we've got no way to stop her as it looks like TV static behind those words.
Oh my God. All right. Oh, Jesus. All right. this is one hell of a page that I'm seeing here. It's static, and I figured that Hawks would have like a little bit of something to say here. I mean, he's already said it the moment he saw like Toga with the blood. So as we continue, right? Oh, sorry, congestion, like really taking over. Give me a moment.
Ba-da-ba. Hang in there.
It is it's a combination of congestion and some weird nasal like clogging.
Odd.
All right, I should suppress
There
it.
we go.
Got no way of stopping her. More static, but it shows like that panel of Hawks where it's like we have to kill them right now.
It's because he knows the threat they pose.
Right. Like well, obviously Hawk's still like relatively good guy, but he knows the perils that is keeping any essence of Twice alive. In this case,
Because he
Toga.
knows he never wanted to kill Twice. It's like he tried to talk him out of being a villain, but Twice was just too loyal to Shigaraki.
Mm-hmm. In the swarm, I like how they draw this. It's like it is like a swarm of Twice, but the way they illustrate it is just like darkness swept across. It's like you're watching something from Kingdom Hearts.
Truly.
But it gets ushered. All must die. And here's Froppy. She's like, Himiko Toga, listen.
It's Sue talking to the Scuff Scoo.
The Scuffsu. I once thought that following the rules is what made someone a hero, and that breaking them made you a villain. But you know what, Himiko Toga? Right now, my friend is setting the rules and everything else aside. Next page. To try and have an honest conversation with you. As it just like cuts over to Uraka there from the past. Killing us all is one thing. Beating you is another. What she's trying is a tougher path than any of that. So come on. Ochiko's making this effort. Might be coming later than he hoped. But please listen to what she's saying. I'm not sure how this is gonna hash out, but I appreciate that Sue had like a good 2 pages to have this honest like feedback on that. I guess I'll take these other 2 pages since those are the last 2. Oh my god. I'm trying to.
I'm surprised you didn't have a bigger reaction as soon as you turned that page, because I was surprised you were like, oh.
Yeah, no. My problem was I didn't know exactly what to even like. It was hard. Like even now, I don't have the words because I don't know how to describe this image until I take a couple moments just to like really like look at it. You ever like have those moments where you look at a panel and you just don't know what the hell is happening, but then it takes your moments for your eyes, your eyes to adjust to it, and you're like, oh, Araka got stabbed.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, so it's just Toga. We're just built different. We're just built different.
That's the localization team, you know it is.
You people. We mean you people.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
You people go on and on about happy, blessed lives. Oh, she's following that narrative still. Yeah, Araka's like coughing up blood. I just don't get. I don't get a feel a lick of that. Your rules tell you to pity me, but you don't care, or you don't dare. Don't you dare? Sorry. I literally just followed that. As we have a shot of this is the last panel, but it's just like Twice smoking a cigarette. Oh my god, are they really gonna drop a villain name for her? But yeah, it's just Twice saying like, "Say Toga, don't you want a villain name of your own?" To be continued.
What a way to end it.
Could you? Nah, I was gonna say like, could you imagine if like Uraka really got offed for the series for this?
Bro.
I don't know how I'd feel about that.
I don't know if I don't think I'd be okay with that.
I think the first thing I would think about is just like, well, that's really trashing.
especially because I'm like, bro, you just killed like the girl of the main ship, bro. What the fuck?
That's my second thought too. It's like, how's the ship going to set sail? You tell me that's going to sink. But yeah, that's rough. God, like even then, like even if she survives, like she's out of commission for now.
Either that or tis but a flesh wound.
hmm It's even crazier now considering the fact that Iraq has been doing like a fantastic job just pairing everything.
This is the one time she's actually gotten hit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not the first time. There was the other time at the camp, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it's one of those weird things because Toga is just one who like kind of perseveres by nature.
She is ferocious.
hmm Yeah, it's tough. Because yeah, it's as Sue says, like Arrakis is trying her best. Obviously, they have the orders to like to kill them. That's essentially what it is. But you know, Arrakis still wants to like appeal to that humanity like that Toga still has. Because I think ultimately we could probably say that like as far as the origins for Toga, like the fault was like with like her parents as well, and to an extent as well as everybody else who kind of observes her and just kind of like naturally just takes a step back away from her. If you get what I mean, just not taking that moment to kind of like understand like what she's trying to go through, or even help her understand what she's going through. Because her entire like upbringing was that she's wrong. There's nothing right about her. There like her quirk was a mess. There's no way to make sense of it all. Because
They
then
didn't help her understand herself.
yeah, so society really just cast her off like from the get go, starting with the very like from the very pillars of support that should have been there for her but weren't.
Yeah, her parents.
I mean, they did the honest try of just simply trying to seek out help, but
Still
even
wasn't a
then,
bad thing.
yeah, of course not. But I I guess like that just further pushed the idea like, oh well, she just needs to be treated. She's sick. That's all it is. But when she never got better, it was just like, oh no, there's something really wrong.
They said, "Oh man, this kid defective."
Yeah, because even now, like I don't quite understand like her like initial like innate lust for like blood, but things like she was saying like, oh my friend just got hurt, so I just wanted to like suck the ouchie. It's like, oh well, yeah, but it's like it's one of those things where like you don't need to like say like, oh that's wrong. You could have also said like, well
Well, like
did they
in
ask for
the
the help or
I
something
know
like that?
in the fan translation, she said like she wanted to kiss it and make it better,
Right, right.
which I think is like you can kind of mean the same thing, I guess.
Mm,
To which is like, yeah, that's the thing kids know when they're little. Oh yeah, you kiss your boo boo, make it better.
right, right.
But of course, most kids don't have a blood sucking quirk.
Yeah. I, like I'm not sure if like it's part of her quirk where like it just kind of drives her to like seek that out because otherwise like that quirk cannot be used. Like
I guess that would kind of make you think that her quirk has a bit of an animalistic trait to it.
maybe like people have like different like wants and desires that just help because that quirk needs that kind of stuff. So I remember that they had like the team up mission like manga. They had like a dude. Obviously, like I think part of it was because like drug enhancement like stuff being like added into the quirk, but it was a guy who's able to like absorb and expel like toxic
Yeah,
gas.
that guy.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like he had to hold it in for so long, but like by releasing it would be obviously a terror to like everybody else. So obviously they worked
Literal
it so
terrorist attack.
yeah, so they were able to work him like help him release it. But he himself is not a bad person, but it's the quirk that he has to accommodate for. So in this case, for like something that requires like blood, I'm pretty sure like uh, you could also say that maybe Stain's kind of similar in a way. He doesn't need to like drink blood or anything like that. It's just that he affects blood in a different way. But so he doesn't really need it, but he's also kind of weird too.
I mean, his quirk is it involved paralyzing you based on your blood type.
Right. So it's one of those things where like I look at that and I'm like, well, he doesn't really need to like drink blood. It's just that like he has this like this quirk type where like it affects specifically like blood from other people or I guess maybe himself. I'm not sure. So it could be a reason why like Stain, aside from other reasons, he acts the way he does.
That was also explained. It's been explained, and it is also shown in the prequel manga, which is Vigilantes.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, so going back to Toga, that's probably like a side effect. It's just like a constant need to like taste blood because that's how you activate the quirk. At least that's how I like see it.
Yeah, but she knew she could turn in. She knew she could turn into people. She did, although later on it awakened to where she could also use their quirks, which is like, huh.
This is true. But yeah, she's had it rough over there. But Araka's also currently having it rough right now. You were saying though about like, you know, or like Toga just like lashes out like towards society because everyone lives like just everyone in general lives out better than she does. And she kind of like throws that at Araka, who, as you said, isn't also not living so lavishly either.
Yeah, she said her parents struggle with money.
Right. They tried to get by and they tried to be as happy as they could, and Araka found a little bit of hope outside of that too. Whereas Toga just didn't have anything at all. So
Yeah, it's like well to her it's like oh she probably said like oh you didn't have money boohoo like that's probably what she and honestly I mean I could see where she'd be coming
yeah,
from on that but it's also like you shouldn't make light of someone else's struggles just because per se yours was worse you shouldn't like say like it's very much the only time I would say you could do that is when someone acts like their situation is so bad but you have to give them a bit of a reality check
yeah.
like
It's
to show them that their life could be much worse it could be like this but
yeah. I think when like someone goes off about that in this scenario where like they just had it, they feel like they're the only ones. Well, like certainly we want to make sure we affirm them that like what they feel is correct. It's valid. The feelings are valid for that. But also know like oh here's like some of the weights like that we're kind of dealing with here too, because like we have some good luxuries here and there, but we're also like weighed down by other things as well.
yeah, I just think that it's like, 'cause of course, I think Toga's life was definitely heartbreaking. It was definitely sad,
Mm-hmm.
but everyone has just struggle in their lives. Everyone's got their own thing that they're dealing with. So I mean, it's like not so like no one needs that. No one lives like a perfect life.
Mm-hmm. It's tough, and I'm thinking back at what like Deku said to her before, like he had to like leave immediately, where it's like the way that he kind of observed Toga was like kind of similar to him aspiring to be All Might but not being him, to a point where like he would want to hurt them. So for Deku, it was just thinking rationally. For Toga, it was just validation that like even he can't think the same way as she does.
Well, that's because he's like she's taking that to the extreme. Is like
Yeah,
what he's
right,
thinking.
right, right. Because obviously we'd be like, oh, well, that makes sense. But for Toga, it's like, well, her viewpoint is like completely like different because of like what she kind of goes through, both on like what is physically being thrown at her and also just how she feels and what she wants is different. And that's not like I think in this like that type of society as well as like our society as well, like that should be something where it's like, yeah, like you have a certain want, that's totally fine, but it's like how do you like work with that to balance off with like what you're currently living in? And for Toga, it's kind of like the extremes. Like I can't have this because the world says so, and I can't work my way around it. So I have to.
Society.
We live in a society, so I don't know. It's rough. I can't really see like ways of like saving her. Like the further we go into these fights, but I really think that like if she really starts to listen, as Sue said, it could like turn things around.
She might at least get turn herself in at least.
At the very like that's honestly the best outcome. Um, but right now she is just like she's fuming at this point.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh. He's fuming, boy.
Oh, I'm steaming, boy. Ooh.
Ooh.
But yeah, so that's pretty much chapter 392. Our next chapter was actually delayed, like in, well, not delayed, but it was be said in like 2 weeks, a week ago. So now next week is actually going to be the release of was it 393? So
Correct.
alrighty, guys. Well, I think I've said my piece. I think this is one good chapter as far as like reflecting on again Toga's like origins and seeing how that society worked like against her, and how everyone from her upbringing has like just been like against her as well. But here's Araka and also Sue to a certain extent too, just trying to like make things work and try to like confront her differently than anyone else would. So
Right.
yeah. Alrighty. Mark, did you have anything else to add to this one?
No, I think we got it all.
Okay. In that case, we'll go ahead and call it here. Guys, appreciate you for tuning in, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. So till then, take it easy. We'll see you guys in the next one.